I don't like people like you. You know it's coming. I don't like people like you. Wait on it. Yeah. I don't like people like you.
I ain't gotta bite my tongue, and I'm not gonna run from a nigga, I'ma stay there. Fuck all that he say, she say. If I gotta tell you niggas off, I'ma say it. I ain't got time for the nonsense. I'ma fuck around and leave a palm print. Fuck a truce, I got the juice, and I tell your mama that she ain't shit. Use a hoe, delusion, no. You don't wanna make no dough, gotta go to another nigga's home just to get put on. Wasting the dope with your face in the coat. Sick lyricist, you would never see me grow. I ain't no joke, and it's no antidote. I'm rolling with a 44 mag, wanna put it in your throat? You gon' wanna pray to the Pope.
What you looking behind for? Is you stupid and blind whore? Pointing directly at you and your kind. Stop killing my vibe, whore. I don't like lame niggas. Only time he got hard when there's game with him. Till I pulling up and that thing hit him. So you leave the same way if you came with him. I don't like thirsty hoes. Kool-Aid packs, no water. You a bitch ass nigga, a bitch ass son, and a bitch ass father. Probably have a bitch ass daughter. 18 on the track, doing everything you taught her. Lambs to the slaughter, never get a dollar. Suck that you swallowed and I block and unfollow.
I don't like people like you. Bitch, I'm talking about you.
I don't like the way you looking at me like a bad bitch that ain't never happy. Entitled as entitled, give me room backspace. Entitled text, play text. How the rim cycle knew it was a rather nigga being Michael. My quotes rival, that's a sign of Simon. Cross the idols, I do not care if you don't like women, but your rap like your drawers ain't got dig holes in them. Lights off, no signs of movement, sleep. I'm 6 feet tall, but underground deep. Following with some shit that they heard, sheep. Every time I listen to that, weak. Baby, shake your ass to the right, east. I'm a motherfucking beast. Sheesh.
I'm a boss, you a goofy. Screaming for friends, hit him with a little Uzi. Still chopping on the beat like Bruce Lee. Tell him put the pussy on the gram like Boosie. Clutch shot like 2-3. Put him in the grave, shit getting real spooky. Little niggas throw things like Pookie. Don't know the game, trying to bang like two. You niggas bitches, you worked in the hoe. You niggas snitches, you work for the folk. I hit the block with the perp and the drill. I put your bitch in the skirt and she hold. Whoa, slow down, turbo. Gotta keep square niggas at the circle. AK got a nose like snorkel. Keep 2 straps on the nigga like Urkel. Till him.
I don't like people like you. Bitch, I'm talking about you. Pull up if you don't like it, bitch. Pull up if you don't like it, bitch. Pull up if you don't like it, bitch. I don't like people like you. Pull up if you don't like it, bitch. Pull up if you don't like it, bitch. Pull up if you don't like it, bitch. Bitch, I'm talking about you.
Tap in. 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 Tap in.
Welcome to TT from the D podcast show. This is Tap In Tuesday, and I want to apologize right now. I am having some serious technical difficulties, so much so. And I know that means that this show is going to be fire. I don't even know if you really can hear me. When I tell you the internet crashed on me, and I'm like, oh my God, my husband is gone to the studio, and I'm thinking like, all right, he's my sound guy, so I'm like feeling for myself. I'm like, okay, I got this. And I know it's because tonight's hot topic is going to be fire. So I'm kind of like on a pause mode, and my spirit, I really want to just be like, let me pause so I can figure it out. While the internet has crashed here, I'm still able to go in through my phone. And then I'm like, yeah. So I don't think people can hear me because all of a sudden, yes, can hear you. Sound is good. Perfect, Karen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Karen came in clutch. She let me know you can hear me. Thank you, Queen. Because I'm telling you, I was sitting here like my you know how we have those ring lights. Nothing is powering up because of the way it's hooked up. And I'm thinking like, OMG. But that's okay. That's what we do around these parts. We just keep it moving. We're not going to quit. We're not going to give up. We're not going to stop the fight. We're going to keep it moving. So with that being said, let me go back. I digress. Let me go back. This is our Tap In Tuesday. Last week, we were going to talk about Roe versus Wade. And, you know, I just was like, okay, we had something else. And last week's show, we talked about being interrupted. And it's so funny and ironic, not in a hee-hee-ha-ha way, but when life happens and we get interrupted, we have to learn to keep it moving, move forward. You know, I'm thinking like, should I just cancel the show and say, you know, I'm like, no. So thank you, Karen, for letting me know that you could hear. And we just going to move forward. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, because we got fellas that's been chiming in. I've been having some really serious, interesting conversation in the last couple of weeks as we've been gearing up about the Roe versus Wade. And I'm one of those. I'm for about what's right. That's what side of the fence I sit on. What's right for the woman? Okay, what's right for the woman? There's a lot of levels to it. And I want to kind of educate us a little bit during my research because I have some clips and I'm going to attempt to play them. Holy Father, activate. Hopefully they'll play for you guys. They were all set. Swifty had it all rocking and rolling. All I had to do was just push a little button here and there and do my thing. And then I got interrupted. Last week's show manifested this week. So I'm going to try to play a clip. I think that you guys will appreciate if I can. And this was a Trump clip with Charlemagne from The Breakfast Club. And so when we first saw it, I was thinking like, oh, there he go. But then I saw something else and I thought like, okay, hold on, which made me want to do some research because I normally don't tap into topics like this. I'm all about talking about politics, and I'm all talking about spirituality and life because we are human beings. We're simply spirits having a human experience. But I thought that this right here would be relevant, and I thought that it would be interesting. A lot of you probably already saw this, which is good. But for those of you that have not seen it, I wanted to share this with you. And then I have a follow-up clip to that. So let's give it a try. Hopefully you can hear.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
Thinking about this whole abortion ban thing, and I said to myself, I don't understand why these old white men are so hell-bent on this. Why an abortion ban? Why now? And it hit me. This is all about self-preservation for the white race. Okay, follow me for a second. All right, now anybody who reads a little bit knows that according to some census projects, the USA will become minority white in 2045. All right, 2045, white people will be the minority, and the majority will be Hispanics and Latinos. So the population and political power will be with those communities, and they will be the new majority. Now, I was looking at some abortion statistics, and I saw that 37% of women having abortions are white, 37% are black, 19% Hispanic, 7% of other races. So when you understand that some white people have a fear of a brown planet, then you will understand the government's efforts to keep Latino immigrants out. It's not a coincidence that yesterday Trump unveiled a new immigrant plan to overhaul legal immigration. So if you keep Latinos and Hispanics out, you slow down the growth of that community, you ban abortions, well, the population of white people increases. Okay, listen. Not just the population of white people, because all white people aren't Republicans or conservatives, but the white people in these particular states are. In these 7 states that have already passed some sort of abortion ban, they're all red states. Okay, all the states who have passed this abortion ban are red states. Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Ohio, Kentucky, Utah, Arkansas. Population of these places is white. okay? Heavy white, heavy Republican, too much goddamn mayonnaise. So this ban in these places will affect a lot of white women. If they can get the number of white women having abortions down, keep Latinos out, keep deporting, then maybe in 2045, white people won't be the majority. I mean, white people will still be the majority, and they can maintain the political power they have in this country. So this isn't about religion or saving the lives of fetuses. This is about self-preservation and not losing political power, okay, to the Hispanic community in 2045. But don't listen to me, because I didn't cry when Tony Stark died in Endgame. And this morning, on the way to work, I listened to Old Town Road remix with Billy Ray Cyrus 4 times. So I don't know if I can be trusted.
Now, Karen, if you still with me, let me know if you heard what Charlamagne was saying in that clip, because I can't tell if you guys can hear it. I couldn't hear except mumbling, and you guys deserve so much better than that, so much more than that. So if you didn't hear that video, if you're still with me, Karen, let me know. Or if anybody else that's in here that I could see, I have a Facebook user. I don't know who it is. It doesn't tell me. And Heine, you were in here. I don't know if Heine's still in here. But if you guys were able to hear that video, let me know if you made out what Charlamagne the guy was saying from the Breakfast Club, because it would really go hands in hand with the next clip. And if you haven't been able to hear it, I don't want to play the next clip, because you guys deserve more than that. Like, when I tell you this is fire and this is something that I think we need to tap into, but I definitely want to give you all what you deserve. While my computer, I'm trying to play technician. Like, that's not my calling. You know how you know your gift and your calling, and technology is not it. As you can see, I'm getting some light over here. I don't know what this is going to look like, y'all, but your girl geeked up. Yeah, so if anybody could tell me if they heard that, that would be great. I'm going to try to attempt to see if I fix the problem. I was trying to troubleshoot it. I'm not a technician, but I attempted. Ooh, Holy Father. Let me see what's going on. I don't know, y'all. Let me see. Is my ring light working? Oh, let's see. Okay, ring light working. Come on, Jesus. Okay, let's see what else we can get working, because I really want to get on the big PC. Ain't this funny how life happens? It's like, okay, woo, come on, y'all. Cross your fingers that your girl and pulls it up. I don't know, but we're going to try, because I need y'all to get me off this little bitty phone, because I want y'all to hear this, and I want y'all to, when I say not hear me, because I know Karen said you can hear me, I want you guys to hear the video, because Charlamagne was on to something. And then I found another clip. I didn't like the way it was labeled, but it's not my clip to label. But it was a woman who, she's reported on some things before in other situations and issues worldwide, and I think she's pretty sound. So I was okay with sharing hers. Let's see if we gotta get some power. Oh, I'm excited. I think we might be moving. I don't know. The little, you know how the little thing, I always say it looks like a Cheerio because it's buffing. It's buffering. And oh God, it says systems updating. Holy Father, activate. So let me get you up to, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Your girl. I might have to work with Geek Squad. Okay, let's see. Because I'm pumped. I don't know how far we going. We gonna see, y'all. I'm excited. Let's see. We're still buffering. So while we're buffering, okay, I don't have time. Jesus, Holy Father. Yeah, Holy Fence. What? What's going on? It's thinking, I suppose. Let's see what we got going on, y'all. Let me see. Because I really want to. Okay, hold on. We might be. Whoa, what's that? Okay, I'm going to try to do this thing because I think I know what happened, but I ain't really sure. And I'm going to move forward. We got an hour only, and I don't plan to keep you any longer than that. But it's telling me to. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to. Okay, so while it's trying to allow me to go in there and check the network system. See, that's what happened when you let your young people get on the computer. Because our young person, Cody, I'm going to blame Cody. He got on here last night. He was gaming because he wants to be a part-time gamer. And that boy just don't be putting our stuff back. Like, he be disconnecting my microphone, just like, got his stuff. I'll be like, your neck in here. Put your neck in there. Okay, so it says it's checking our network requirements. We're gonna see y'all. But anyway, while that's doing that, let me put y'all up to speed with Roe versus Wade, because it's what's happening, right? It's what's happening right now. So Roe versus Wade was a landmark legal decision issued back on January 22nd, 1973. Okay. I think y'all girl about to come through. Okay, anyway. Which the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a Texas statute banning abortions. Okay, because that's Roe versus Wade. That's what we're talking about. Okay, let me see. I think your girl might be able to get up in the studio. Yo. And if so, we gonna run it back. Okay. So, to effectively legalize the procedure across the United States. Now, what I did learn, hold on, y'all. Y'all might hear a little echo. I'm gonna try to kill that. Hold on one second. Okay. Oh, that's not gonna work. Let's get rid of that one. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, there we go, y'all. Okay, I don't know why the poltergeist look is going on. Okay, so listen. So Karen, you said we hear you. Okay, what about the video? Heard everything fine? Great. So you were able to hear everything and understand it. The video played well. Awesome. Yay. Shout out to Karen. I'm going to see you, I think, at the end of the month for sure at this performing. I will talk about that. Okay, so and Swifty and yeah, some other stuff. Okay, so listen. So let me bring you to speed. Then we're gonna play the second video. Okay, some of you might have seen the first video, because this is TT from the D podcast, and we can kind of do what we like. People had came on, and I don't know if you knew about the technical difficulty I was having. But I know that Karen said it played well, but I want these to go back to back. Now that I'm sure you can hear, we're good. Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to play the Charlemagne piece again later on, and then I'll play the lady again. Well, not again, because we didn't play her at all, but we'll play Charlemagne the guy from the Breakfast Club, and then we'll go and we'll play again. I keep saying again, Holy Father. The guys who, the real Roe versus who was Roe. Okay, this lady, they called her Jane Roe, but her name really is okay, what's my notes? Ooh la la la, ooh la 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 la. These are out of order now. I know Mr. Wade, I know how he gained his what do you call it, his recognition around the globe. But okay, so Jane Roe really is Norma McCorvey. Okay, so Jane Roe, this is Roe versus Wade, right? And they did a real FX on her, you know, and it's crazy how we have to fight for certain things, and it becomes a law, which is a blessing in a lot of instances, because the world try to rule things for us. We are human beings, right? And you hear on one side, you got freedom of choice. It's your right. Okay, but then when does it not become your right? If it pisses off someone else, or if a group of people decide we don't like that. So we don't like that, and that means that we're not going to do it. We don't want it to happen, so let's do something about it. And then you decide what's best for another person or a group of people. And I believe a lot of our amendments were formed to protect certain things. Like I had a big problem with the whole, are you vaccinated? Are you not vaccinated? It violates your Privacy Act, right? I used to say, would you tell a person if you had, like if you slept with 100 people? Like, is that conversation that, well, we need to know how promiscuous you are or not. And, or we need to know, do you use protection? Is that your business? Like, there's a lot that goes on in the world that's not your business. But let's be clear, the stuff that people should make their business, y'all close the windows, board it up. you turn your back, you turn out the lights like nobody's home with things that really should be your business, like gun laws. While we fighting and we battling and we going to the top of the mountain about protecting the rights or protecting the rights of women to make a choice for their bodies, where y'all at with the damn gun laws? Where's all the urgency for all of our people getting murdered every day? Where's the urgency for that? Where are the people passing laws for that? Where's the rallies happening? Please tell me where that shit's manifesting, because I'm getting mad about that. Every day we hear about a child or a person, no matter what age bracket, a human being is a human being. They're getting gunned down because you got immature, ignorant people, a lot of people who have no gun, murder people. Where y'all at on that? Like, where's the urgency on that? I'm really waiting to know about that. I would love to do a podcast when we start firing up and getting so fired up and take it over to the New York Times and this hot shit on the front page of the local newspapers. Besides, so-and-so gunned down, murdered, blah, 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 kids killed, blah, blah, blah. Family and their babies and their children and so on and so forth. We're not hanging out at the courthouses. We're not rallying. We're not marching fast enough. Where's the power with that? Okay? You're so busy. And it's so funny. I found so many clips I was going to share. But I was like, I ain't going to go there. But I'm like, I think this is my Ron. Let me pause what Ron said. I think this is Ron. Ron, let me know if this is you. I think this is Ron. NRA are in the pockets of our lawmakers. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. I don't have no hard proof, but what I don't see is what I'm seeing about this Roe versus Wade. Like, y'all amped up. Y'all ready to go to war about people's wombs, right? It's Ron. Hey, Ron. Y'all ready to go to war about people's wombs, right? You ready to go to the cross for that, but you're not ready to go to the cross for these people. Like, what? Yesterday, families and people out with kids having a good old time, enjoying a parade. And then during one of the newscasters doing an interview, it got interrupted because of police and people running and trying to dodge bullets. And I'm like, what? 6 people that we know of lost their lives at a parade. That's supposed to be family oriented, a good time to gather together and have a great time. But it also brings you out for open target practice, right? For certain ignorant people. And then it's crazy that there are groups that actually support it, right? Underground. We know there's a black market for all kind of stuff. Let's be clear. Okay. My background, criminal justice. So y'all know I do my due. And then, just like you, we all know people, right? And so you just be looking like it's so much that go on that we don't talk about because it's not hot, right? It's not hot. A lot of y'all won't even share certain things that we really need to be sharing, but you'll share what everybody else is sharing. And that's one of the reasons why I don't do things like I'm doing tonight, the Roe versus Wade. I don't really do all of that because everybody else can do it. You don't need me to do that. I like to use my platform to promote entrepreneurs and entertainers and artists and bring that to us because I love positivity and I want people to allow their light to shine bright, right? But sometimes, every now and then, I got to tap in on something that's so sensitive. And I wavered with it. I wavered with it because I knew like a lot of people ain't gonna like this podcast show tonight. But guess what? I'm for the one, okay? I'm for the one. I'm for the people who say, you know what? We have a right to make choices. Because there's a lot that goes along with the Roe versus Wade, whether you guys know it or not. Now, Melanie said black on black crime is at an all-time high and mortifying. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. But then you'll have somebody that'll follow you right on up, Mel, and they'll say, you'll turn it into like a race thing, right? And it's kind of like where's the Black Lives Matter people with this? Or, it doesn't matter in the community if it's black on black crime. And some people got points with that. That's a whole nother podcast too, where it's like the minute it's another culture doing something to another culture, it's news. But when it's happening amongst your own culture, it's not news. It's almost like, that's every day. Oh, that's We're used to that. That's what it seems like. And that's not a good way, I don't think, for us to view life or things that's happening in the world. We can't get a grasp on nothing. We can't put our hands around the neck of ignorance because we sit back and say, well, that just seems to be a norm. It's a social norm. It's a norm I don't like, but it's like a norm. So, we have bigger things to think about. Like what? Roe versus Wade? While people get murdered, right? Let's put that on the back burner. We don't really need to concern ourselves with that. Let's talk about what's going on in the wombs of women. We want to control that. And I'm going to tell you what I said. I was going to come back. I'm going to play this so y'all can get this. You all right? Okay. It is a race thing, sis. It is, and it isn't. I'm gonna have to, oh, this is the first time me and you ever disagreed, Mimi. It is and it ain't. Okay? Because I feel the same way, whether it's a black man killing a black man, or a white man killing a white man, or a kid killing another kid, or gun violence is gun violence, no matter how it is. Mental illness, it don't have no for real suit, right? It don't have no for real suit. And just like they dismiss mental illness, right? And want to put them off like, oh, they just crazy. Let the crazy deal with the crazy or whatever like that. It's kind of like, where's the support? Where's the help? Oh, but let me think about this. If you stop shutting government, if you stop shutting down all of the facilities, then we could help the people that need the help instead of just write a prescription. Because let's be clear, y'all getting rich off of that too. You write a prescription for everything and it don't stop. It doesn't really help. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Let's get a Band-Aid. I'll put it, and I'm gonna be on my way. And then you wonder why you formulate infections and some people die because we don't really get to the root of the problem. It's like cutting down a tree. If you just cut the surface of a tree and you don't get to those roots, I'm sorry to tell you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that tree is going to come back through the ground again. Why? Because you got to get, that's where it grew, right? It's just like how they get into the root of a woman's womb, because we're talking about Roe versus Wade. Okay, so I'm not saying I'm for or against. I'm not on the fence either. I say what's best for the situation. So let me pause there, okay? Because I know it's going to get spicy tonight, and I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. But let me go back to this video because a lot of you just chimed in. So we're going to play this back to back so you can see what really kind of was like, oh, okay. I'm Charlamagne the God from the Breakfast Club. Y'all know he can be controversial, but he's on to something with this.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
I was thinking about this whole abortion ban thing.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
I was thinking about this whole abortion ban thing, and I said to myself, I don't understand why these old white men are so hell-bent on this. Why an abortion ban? Why now? And it hit me. This is all about self-preservation for the white race. Okay, follow me for a second. All right, now anybody who reads a little bit knows that according to some census projects, the USA will become minority white in 2045. All right, 2045, white people will be the minority, and the majority will be Hispanics and Latinos. So the population and political.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
I was thinking about this whole abortion ban thing, and I said to myself, I don't understand why these old white men are so hell-bent on this. Why an abortion ban? Why now? And it hit me. This is all about self-preservation for the white race. Okay, follow me for a second. All right, now anybody who reads a little bit knows that according to some census projects, the USA will become minority white in 2045. All right, 2045, white people will be the minority, and the majority will be Hispanics and Latinos. So the population and political power will be with those communities, and they will be the new majority. Now, I was looking at some abortion statistics, and I saw that 37% of women having abortions are white, 37% are black, 19% Hispanic, 7% of other races. So when you understand that some white people have a fear of a brown planet, then you will understand the government's efforts to keep Latino immigrants out. It's not a coincidence that yesterday Trump unveiled a new immigrant plan to overhaul legal immigration. So if you keep Latinos and Hispanics out, you slow down the growth of that community, you ban abortions, well, the population of white people increases. Okay, listen. Not just the population of white people, because all white people aren't Republicans or conservatives, but the white people in these particular states are. In these 7 states that have already passed some sort of abortion ban, they're all red states. Okay, all the states who have passed this abortion ban are red states. Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Ohio, Kentucky, Utah, Arkansas. Population of these places is white. Okay, heavy white. Heavy Republican, too much goddamn mayonnaise. So this ban in these places will affect a lot of white women. If they can get the number of white women having abortions down, keep Latinos out, keep deporting, then maybe in 2045, white people won't be the majority. I mean, white people will still be the majority, and they can maintain the political power they have in this country. So this isn't about religion or saving the lives of fetuses.
Okay, we getting caught up with that. For those of you that saw it earlier, when I had to be on my smartphone, then you can see it's starting to look like Terminator. Y'all seeing that look? A little Terminator. Okay, so let's see if we can get this other clip. So what basically, and when I went back to read the article on this woman, I actually pulled up the article. Let me see if I can get it on my phone. Because I was like, what? Did she say that? And of course, her publicist tried to come back and recant that and say what she meant to say was for all race. No, she said what she said. Ain't that what we say? She said what she said. And that was through, that was Representative Mary Miller at the rally when former President Trump was doing something in Illinois. She's the representative from Chicago, Illinois. Mary Miller. Imagine that. She's telling the people, like, thank you for what you did for the Magna, for our people, for what? I said, did they really? But guess what? In that season, when this was all happening, it was okay to get out there and just say, you might as well just pretty much got out there. If you want to get in, KKK gear, you could have just probably pretty much did that, right? I guess it would have been okay. Open law. I don't know. It was just ridiculous. Now, let's see this. Facebook. Ron said, yes, he is correct. They are so worried the white race will no longer be the majority race. I heard that 60% of abortions are of white babies. Okay, let me take you here, Ron. I'm glad you said that. Let's see. Karen said, I heard a in that first yeah. And then let's go back here. Melanie said, I say it, and we were talking prior to the video. She said, I say it because they have the option to stand up and intercede like they would be in the suburban or elite communities, but won't because of the culture, this mental illness, such an example. So let's of another woman who breaking it down what Charlemagne had to say about that. I thought it was quite interesting, and I definitely wanted to bring it straight to you live and direct right here from TT from the D. Here we go.
If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, and he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, the main problem confronting... If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, and he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, the main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country. He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, White people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you exactly, almost exactly what he says. He says there are 3 things we can do to solve this. Number 1, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. Then once again he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those wanting to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you?
Can you talk a little bit about the trauma associated with
the trauma?
Let me be clear. That woman, she's spoken on a lot of different heavy topics over the last couple of years. And I forgot her name, but she's up there just like she had her piece to say about the whole pandemic manifesting with Roe versus Wade. But there's a clip when they talked about they had, let me see, I don't like paraphrasing, or I don't like kind of saying stuff that I can't really prove where I get this data from, because I'm not making it up. I don't have to make it up for like what? Why would I do that? But some people will be naysayers, and it's all good. We always gonna have a naysayer. But there's a video where I'm gonna see this person spoke about something about kind of, okay, here.
Fact, it's really fulfilling of a dream.
Pfizer, the CEO.
When we started in
2019.
The first week we met.
They met
in January of 19.
In January 19, 2019.
To set up the goals for the next 5 years, and one of them was by 2023 we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. Today, this dream is becoming.
Wow, he said they met and they clapping. I'm like, what group were y'all in? What private setting? What black web conference room were y'all in when you sat there and people are clapping, saying back in 2019, January, we decided that we came together, we met, that we need to depopulize, right? And we had a goal, a 5-year goal by 2023, we would depopulize and reduce the population by 50%. And people are clapping. What? So all the stuff that was happening, people were like, just all this, how did COVID get here and all that? That's a whole nother thing. We're not gonna go there. I don't want to digress, but it kind of go hand in hand, because you had a lot of casualties of war, right? There's a lot of casualties of war, and there was a lot of finger pointing, right? And so when we talk about, if the statistics is accurate, where they're saying that 60%, her name is Jane Elliott. Thank you, y'all. Just in case y'all want to look that woman up, because she's very insightful. Oh, little old lady, but she got a lot of wisdom and knowledge. And then, get that name, y'all, Jane Elliott. And then here, Ron shared this. He said, yes, he's correct. They are so worried the white race will no longer be the majority. I heard that 60% of the abortions are of white babies. Right. So listen, but let me be clear about this. Here we go, right? Then and now. Additionally, okay, and Miss Elliott just confirmed this, that the activists were alarmed by the growing population of immigrants. She just confirmed that. Charlamagne did too in Breakfast Club, right? 2 different cultures, 2 different walks of life, 2 different groups of following, same educational point though, okay? They feared the declining birth rates among the white American born women. And I'm thinking like, are you concerned about being born, wanting any more black babies, or you want to stop black babies? You want black babies? I mean, are we babies, or do you have an agenda? Do you need white women to have all these babies? If you're saying 60%, like really, y'all did data on that? Y'all collected data to say Okay, so I had to come on here. Hopefully, it won't be any feedback because I got kicked off of the regular internet. So I'm over here. I don't know how much I can really. I know it was frozen over there, so I had to jump over here. So we'll do what we do over here. Just like last week, remember what I said? When life gives you interruptions, what do? Do we run or do we stand up and we face what we're dealing with? And so with this Roe versus Wade, we're not running. We're standing up for what we believe in. Okay. And you know that old saying, majority rules, right? So majority rules. And it's like the majority of who though? Is it the women that's speaking for the women? Because it's our bodies. What they don't realize, and I know I stopped on then versus now, and how this all manifested. Actually, in 1969, Roe, who we know as Jane Roe, who really is Norma McCorvey, was a woman in her early 20s. She had already had 2 children, and she had came from, a very dysfunctional family, poor, just not a real good shot and chance at life. I don't know who or who the father was of her 2 children prior to the one that became a law. Like a law was made because of what she was trying to do, but she had enough knowledge and sense to say, you know what, I can't provide for this child and or children, and so I'm gonna have the baby and just give the baby up for adoption. Okay, whatever that looks like. And so when she got pregnant the 3rd time, it was just like they're like, then came Mr. Wade. Okay, Mr. Wade got his notoriety. He got his Walk of Fame when he defended. Well, I shouldn't say defended. He prosecuted Jack Ruby, who killed Lee Harvey Oswald. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but he was the alleged assassin of the President John Kennedy. So he got his walk in the spotlight back then, and he took it upon himself. While I don't even know what, like, did you have any stake? Did you have anything to do with anything? He took it upon himself to try to sue her. And it was like, you really are gonna go to bat for a woman who you don't know to stand up for a law. Again, look, those people died of gun violence back then. Assassinations, right? Moving on, let's get on. So you stood up back then, and they held up in court so long where she ended up having to have the baby, the 3rd child, and she also, unfortunately, she had to put that baby up for adoption as well. And as a result, they look back and they say in the history that some women resorted to illegal and dangerous back alley type of abortions, and people are afraid that they're going to do that again. As these states are trying to make the choice, you're going to start getting other states heavy populated. Not saying people are just going to move to these states just so they can go and have an abortion. And don't get me wrong, an abortion is not a form of birth control. That is not what I'm saying. But there are a lot of issues that are attached to sometimes the decision that we have to make as women. It could be your health challenges. I have a cousin who mom gave birth to my cousin and passed away very shortly doing childbirth because they had to make a decision. It wasn't up to mom, it wasn't up to dad to make the decision. They made the decision that she's going to give birth. Even though y'all know she crashing and all these health things were happening, it was like, we got to make a decision. Do we not save the baby or do we sacrifice the mother? Well, you sacrifice the mother. And so thank God my cousin is here, but he never, knew his mom. And it was like, but y'all made a decision. So think about the women who are raped, okay? And all the trauma that comes with that. Imagine you walking around and that child, if you're not strong enough to deal with that mentally, and it affects you in such a way where you could say, you know what, this child is a part of me and I'm going to love this child, whatever. I know that it could be a blessing. I don't know how somebody would look at that because that's not my story. But what about a person that says, I can't? There's this person that raped me, and this child, every time I feel this child moving, it's going to remind me of the rape. Or if I see this child, it's going to This child was not made from love. This child was not something that I planned for, wanted. All these things. It's like you got people, I don't know if y'all are aware, you got people that have raped women that are beautiful because they're like, well, I want her to have my baby. She like she'll make a beautiful baby. What? What? The mentality, like what? So you taking away the rights of a woman for a lot of different things. Then you think about that 14th Amendment is affected. It also ties into some other things, ladies and gentlemen, whether you know it or not. And when you start tapping and tampering with amendments, you're going to start going through and saying, well, shit, if we can get away with this, we might as well try this one. Because if we just get enough people to overturn and throw it, and we can get certain states to get it back, it ain't going to be too long before y'all start trying to tap in with all these other things. But let's be clear. Some of that stuff not going to work. We not in the same mindset we was 30, 40, 50 years ago. Let's be clear. We're not. So you're going to have a bigger battle on your hands as you have right now with the Roe versus Wade. Women are not just sitting down saying, well, you know, I mean, they said what they said. We got to, there's women on the front line. There's men also saying, hey, the woman has the right to choose and let's support her. At the same time, as I said, I am not saying it's a form of birth control. There are some people, unfortunately, that say, well, I got pregnant. I don't want this baby, so I ain't got time. I'm on to the next and on to the next and on to. And I get it. So the mindset, again, you got people who are not mentally stable, that are not even mature enough mentally or emotionally, dang sure not spiritually, to be bringing another human being into this world. Now, they may have laid down for the act that took 2 minutes or more, but for 2 minutes or more, and oh, you got up and you went on to the next thing. Oh, I'm pregnant. Or, you know, it takes two to tango. It ain't just all on the woman. That's almost like saying, okay, if the woman can't get an abortion, and fellas, where you at? Where you at? Because you shouldn't be able to just walk away. If this woman got to have this baby, you need to be responsible. Not saying men ain't, but some aren't. And not saying every woman wants to make that choice. But if it's a choice, if it's something that they need to make, isn't that her choice? And a lot of times men sit in on these choices. You've heard men, I've known some fellas that encourage their girlfriend or boo thing or side chick or whatever you want to call it. But one night stand, listen, I ain't trying to be no dad. I don't even know you like that, blah, blah, blah. But you knew him well enough to lay down with him. So I get that point. Like, you need to be accountable. There has to be levels of accountability. But at the same time, let's think beyond that lustful moments of those that we not even going to factor and think about, right? Let's think about the people that have health challenges. Let's think about the incest. Someone was molested by a relative and now they're pregnant. They don't want to have that baby. What? But then you got something. Well, we don't believe in that. Did you believe in rape? Did you believe in incest? Did you believe in molestation? What? Like, what? When do we decide what we believe in? Isn't that your choice? When you wake up in the morning, isn't it your choice to brush your teeth, wash your face? When you go to the bathroom, isn't it your choice to wipe your bottom if you're sitting down? Isn't it your choice if you're going to do something that makes sense or something that doesn't? A lot of people have choices. Your freedom of choice. And what will it say? Nobody had a gun to your head. You had a freedom of choice. You had the right to do this, that, and the third. And you made a poor choice. So are we going to start making choices for everything people do? Like, when does the line stop? When do we stop? Because, I mean, I'm sitting here looking like, I think it's every woman's choice. Yeah, I think it is. But I also think as women and men, I think that we need to also put ourselves in the mindset to say, what I do today can affect me tomorrow. You also got to be mentally ready to deal with that. If you choose to have an abortion, there's a lot that goes along with that. Trust me, I know. And if you're in a mindset where you're saying, you know, listen, this is the best decision because of this. Write it out. Like, really seek counseling. Do all that. Some people are forced to have had had to have that. And when they went in, is anyone forcing you to be here today? Anybody made you come here today? Is this something you want to do? If they're being forced and they're afraid for their lives, they're not going to sit there and tell you, yeah, you know, they told me if I didn't, they was going to kill me. Or it's like, what? They're not going to say that. They're already afraid. But what I'm saying, us as a people, as human beings, your choice is your choice. Your body is your body. When we go out and get butt implants and breast implants and Botox and bone structure and all these things, is there anybody stopping y'all? Is there a freaking law out there saying, oh, well, you know, I don't really feel like women should be able to get these things cosmetically done because of this, that, and the third? There ain't nobody at the picket line for that. And I know some of y'all might be saying, that ain't the same thing. We talking about a whole life. I get you. I'm not saying we're not. But what I'm saying is, isn't it that person's choice? It could be your choice to lay down with a person and now you have made a baby. That's a whole nother thing. It could not be your choice to lay down with somebody and they made a baby. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So in the cases of, it should be, if anything, a case by case. What's the situation, circumstances on why you want to get an abortion? I'm just not ready. When you was ready to have sex, I guess I would be on the team like, well, that's not, no. I was raped. I was molested. This is a baby manifested from incest. Okay? You gang raped. It's 4, 5, 20 men gang raped. You looking up all these people that's out there that these young women are being sex trafficked and impregnated. And they don't know who the baby daddy is. And all they got is what's going on. Can you imagine how you telling this woman, this girl, she has to? And it's kind of like, what? You don't think not only will suicide rates go up, back alley abortions coming back. Let's get ready. If you've seen For Colored Girls in there, when the lady Macy Gray, she did a great job. But anyway, Macy Gray in the movie, she's sitting here with old school, raggedy, dirty utensils that she's sticking up in the woman's uterus, scraping, and the young girl almost died. How many people? Let me go. Let me give you some statistics. As a result of some women who had to go through an illegal, dangerous back alley abortion or self-induced abortion. In the 1950s and 1960s, they estimated a number of illegal abortions in the United States ranged from 200,000 to 1.2 million a year. For whatever reason, those women, you got 200,000? First of all, a lot of them, they said they didn't have the likes of money. You had some people that came from well-to-do families and they're like, oh, no. That's a shameful thing. So a lot of times you heard, oh, they going down south for the summer. I know somebody who moved down south to have a whole child and come back. And it's like, what was that? Oh, that's your child. Oh, wow. I didn't know you was pregnant when you left. Because the family, oh, no, we don't do that. Really? So instead of not talking to your child or children about sex and things like that, like in my house, you couldn't even talk about sex in my house. I ain't talking to my mom about sex. She would have bust me in the chest. So it's kind of like you afraid. So you learn it from the streets. You learn it from your peers. That's why we have to be educating our young people. We have to educate our young people. Hell, you got to educate your adults. Okay. So let me give you a little bit more because we are getting, into the hour power. In 1973, the court declared that a woman's right to an abortion was implicit in the right to privacy protected by the 14th Amendment. So we're getting ready to disassemble that. We're getting ready to say, yeah, we ain't listening to them. We're gonna do what we want to do, and we ain't listening to y'all, and that ain't the way we want to see it. And so I wonder if you knew this part. The court divided pregnancies into 3 trimesters and declared that the choice to end the pregnancy in the first trimester was solely up to the woman. In the second trimester, the government could regulate abortion, although not ban it, and in order to protect the mother's health. In the third trimester, the state could prohibit abortion to protect the fetus that could survive on its own outside the womb, except when a woman's health was in danger. I can kind of get that. I guess I would say if I was sitting at the table in the first trimester, you need to make a decision. You know you pregnant. Now, some people go through their whole pregnancy. I didn't even know I was pregnant. You ain't feel the whole body moving in there. Some people say they haven't. And I'm like, wow. Like, wow. Because I know, like, wow. You're right. And I'm thinking like, okay. But there's circumstances and that differ for every person. They said at the end of the second trimester, the woman's health. At the end of the third trimester or during the third trimester, in danger. I think about my cousin's mom who lost her life giving birth. If y'all would have thought about that during her birth and y'all could have made a decision, but you didn't make the decision, you made the decision to keep the life coming and let the life that was here go. Was that fair? Like, that was somebody's wife. That was somebody's sister. That was somebody's mother. No, it wasn't. The child here would have been, but that was somebody's daughter. You understand? So when you start to make decisions, when do you draw the line on we can't make that decision? When people are fighting for their lives on life support, they come to the family and what do you want to do? A lot of times families will say, hey, we're going to ride this thing out until God says, God got the last say so. I feel you on that, right? We looking at that loved one laying there though, they suffering. They say brain dead, there's no activity, ain't been no activity. Do you want us to turn the machine off? Because that person ain't living on their own. They're only here because this cord, this breathing machine or this heart machine or whatever it is. So you kind of look at things differently. But when we talk about something so deep as this rule about Roe versus Wade, I'm like, what's really happening? What are we really doing, y'all? What are we really getting ready to allow to happen? You're getting ready to tamper with the 14th Amendment. If you tamper with that one, what makes y'all think they ain't gonna tamper with the other ones? And at the end of the day, the videos I shared earlier, are you only doing that because you looked at the statistics? Statistics told us, according to the data, that 60% of the women that have abortions in the USA, in the United States of America, is white women. That's what statistics say. That ain't what TT said. Because I found that hard to believe. I'm like, what? Where you look at that? So I'm like, okay, I do my own research. I'm like, oh, okay. That's deep. But then to get these clips manifesting, that's why I always say, y'all can erase stuff, but please believe it's in the cloud. The iCloud is up there, baby. Nothing you erase is ever going to be erased. If somebody wants to go up in there and get it, they're going to do that. And so these clips are coming back. They're manifesting. And so we're seeing, get rid of that. We don't want it. It's a lot that people snatch down. You and put it out there because you ain't nobody watching. See? Right? Ain't nobody reading. Ain't nobody looking. Ain't nobody studying. But then when we get a hold to it, it's like, uh-oh, we can't let everybody know that. Take that down. Snatch that down. Never to be seen again. You think? Until somebody said, a couple years ago, and they will dig, and they'll find it. Just like those clips I shared. I didn't just have to go digging. They was right there. Someone else took the time to dig. They've been shared thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Because this is a serious situation we're dealing with. Okay? There are certain states that said, listen. And then I like the way the Supreme Court did this one. Which y'all ain't right. Y'all said, oh no, we ain't about to have them stumping us down. We don't want the burden. We don't want death threats and all that. So I got an idea. Let's make every governor of every state responsible. Put that on their plate. We don't want to deal with it. Really? So now governors are like, no, it's up to the person. That's your body. That's your choice. It's your life. Some people are like, hey, what's best for you? Especially when it's a health situation. Like I said, somebody's been raped, molested, any of those things in a life. And I get it because every life is, think about this. I think about this too. If my mother decided not to have me, I wouldn't be here. I thank God for her having me. I wouldn't know if she didn't. I wouldn't be here. But I'm here, right? Despite what happened prior to me getting here, or even during while I've been here. I'm here. We're all here. The world has been depopulated. According to Pfizer, what they said in that video, they had a plan in 2019, January 2019, that they needed to depopulate the world by 50%. And what happened in 2020? COVID. I'm like, well, damn, that kind of go along. And then Pfizer, y'all was already talking? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not wait a minute. Wait a minute. So let me get this right. The CEO of Pfizer sat on that panel and said, in some room, and people were applauding, yeah, we see that it's working. Well, what's working? Because y'all just doing a whole lot real quick. Things that normally take a long time. We working on this. Yeah, we haven't found. Y'all still ain't found no damn cure to cancer. Okay? Allegedly, you haven't found a cure to AIDS. It's killing people. Not as rapidly as COVID, but it's killing people. And people are suffering. But let me see, on your way out, we're going to take all your money off your insurance, though. We're going to use it all. Oh, and if you ever noticed, if you know somebody who's passed away, y'all keep on going. They start running out of insurance. Yeah, there ain't much more we can do. Oh, is it? It's not? I wonder if they had a little bit extra insurance. Could you find just a little bit more to do? It's crazy how people want to play God. You could say you're contradicting yourself, TT, because the people making the decision having abortions playing God. No, they're not. I don't think so. But what's the difference? Somebody said this to me. I'm like, I looked at them like, what? What's the difference in a person killing somebody and just having an abortion? Really? I looked at that person like, did they ask me that out loud? I didn't even answer it. I was looking at that person like, confused. Because I couldn't believe they formulated that thought and pour it out of their mouth. I was looking like, in my mind, I said, did they just ask me what's the difference in a person just killing somebody versus an abortion? So a whole human being that's out here living a life, you talking to them and somebody kill them versus a fetus. And then you might say, oh, it's as soon as a heartbeat. I get you. Don't come for me. I get you. But you get what I'm saying. We have to draw the line at some place. But how do you make a decision for a whole nother human being? It's like you're controlling a person or people. And then you're also going to open up the Pandora's box because let's be clear, people are going to go to other states. New York said you ain't got to live in New York to have an abortion there. They still, and then you got people that's like, well, we're going to kill the doctors. If we catch you giving an abortion, we're going to kill you. So now you're going to become a murderer? I'm confused. You want to stop that person from having an abortion so bad you're willing to murder somebody? What? Come on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Open up your eyes. Let's really talk about this, but let's really think about this. And not only that, let's really, really pray about this. The decision at the end of the day lies on the person that lay down, whether they was forced to lay down or they willingly laid down. It's still, whether this person, you got people that had kept babies from rapes and said, I don't believe in abortions. Okay, to each its own. If you can deal with that mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and you can love him or her and not put that baby in a freezer or not kill that kid, because let's be clear about that too. For those people that shouldn't be having these damn kids and should not be able to even reproduce, that will have these babies that had abortions because they crazy as all get outside, you're going to find more and more babies dead. So unless y'all planning on harvesting organs, okay? Because y'all crazy on these streets. But I'm just like, think about it. Some people aren't meant to have kids. And I say that because they can't even do it. They can't even do the thing called life for themselves, barely. But they could do the one thing most people do and lay down and have sex. Or sit up and have sex, whatever, stand up and have sex, whatever. Just put that, table it. But I agree that it's to each person's own discretion. And I also agree that the 14th Amendment gave you the right to protect your privacy, your choice. You hear that? My choice, my body, right? It is. At the end of the day, just like if a woman tells you no, it's no. So are we going to say now too, hey, if she want to have sex and you want to and she doesn't want to, it's not her right to say no. What? y'all got to be careful when y'all start to tamper with these laws that's not only attached to things that you want to control, but things that really bother people in their heart, their minds, and their spirits. Now, at the end of the day, let's be clear about this one. Well, God don't, hey, be careful, because there's a lot that we do that God don't like. So don't go there. But let's go here. Isn't he the only true judge in the world, of the world, for those of you that believe? That's who you need to worry about. So no matter what that woman chooses to do, you ain't going to be in judgment line with her. If that's something that she got to worry about and go there, because that's a whole nother thing, the spirituality about that what would God, hey, that's a whole nother thing. I didn't open that up because that's a whole nother thing, and I'm not equipped, but I could come back with some people from the spiritual realm and talk about that at a later time. But it's more of a worldly situation. We are dealing with this right now. There are people, look at the 10-year-old who had to go to a whole nother state to get an abortion. I don't know why a 10-year-old was pregnant. I thought to myself, was she raped? Was she molested? That's a whole nother thing y'all ain't thinking about when you taking away the rule, when you taking away the option. If you gonna do something, can we be fair? Can we go here? Can I get off the fence and jump down and say, can we do this? Instead of saying it's 100% illegal, can we say, depending on the situation, were you raped? Does your life depend on, like, you could be so sickly that it's kind of like that. You think about, I could share some things, but this ain't my soapbox, about my own personal journey. There could be some life or death situations you have to make a choice. And you got to say, okay, what's best for the body? But can you at least allow a woman that had that much say over her body that she could say, listen, I'm a victim of rape. Here's my police report. Okay? I was molested. Okay? I was forced, or whatever that looks like. I'm mentally unstable. I suffer from this, that, this, that. Or there's going to be some deformities. This will be a challenge trying to, early in the early stages. Can we have some wiggle room? That's what I'm asking. And that's rhetorical, because none of us right here can make a decision. But is that on the table? Can we table that? Can we go back to the table and say, can we have some leeway for these women? Now, let's be clear, ladies. What we ain't gonna do is be out here hollering, I was raped. Now, you wasn't. There's a whole video of you throwing it in a circle. Okay, let's be clear on that. We're not gonna lie about it. But for those women that really have been raped, for those women that really have been molested, for those women that actually dealt with incest, and that had to be your story, you said, I can't. Don't you dare feel bad. Don't you dare let anybody tell you about you. You owe nobody anything but yourself and God. At the end of the day, that's me telling you what I feel. That's a TT moment. Okay? There's only one judge. I know there's people that put on those little robes and sit on a bench. Some of them got crazy, dysfunctional families. Y'all have seen them exposed. Y'all making decisions for people's lives, but you don't even like certain cultures. You don't even like certain type of people, whether it's a black person or LGBTQ, all the alphabets. You don't care. Only about certain ones, though. Oh, not my race. No, not women. Really? When we do something, we're doing it for everybody, right? If we're loving on people, we're supposed to be loving on everybody, right? Despite the color, creed, and all those great things. But I will ask you to think about tabling that and going back to the drawing board when you try to make a decision that can affect someone's whole life. So, on that note, thank you for tuning in. I've held you 2 minutes over. My apologies. And I just have to say this Roe versus Wade is not gonna prove to this what y'all trying to do, dictate It's not going to prove to be good either way. Leave people alone. Let people make their own decisions. What's best for them. A lot of times you don't know a person's story. You think you know because you nosy. Hell, you don't know your own story. You can't tell your own story and you live in your own life, but you're ready to dictate other people's stories. You're ready to write a chapter in their life and you have no right. You are not a writer in their life. You're only a writer in your own. And some of y'all can't write your own damn story. So how do you sit on a bench? Or how do you sit in an office, in your plush offices, sitting around eating and drinking and driving your fancy cars, living in wherever you live in and making decisions for other people? You got to be careful. Be very, 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 very careful on the decisions you make and why you make them. Don't worry about what people choices are. You know why I say that? Because at the end of the day, when that person lays down with themselves, they got to deal with that. No matter what their decision or their choice is, good or other. Mind your business. Mind your business. You have no right to be knowing what goes on in a woman's body, just like y'all have no right to be knowing if a person is vaccinated or unvaccinated. You don't have no right to be knowing that shit neither, but y'all know that. And I don't even know how we even allowed that to happen, but I be looking at people like, it ain't your business if I am or if I'm not. I'm very verbal. I'm very open, but it's not really your business. And I don't fall to the peer pressure. I respect you, though. How about that? I respect everybody's choice, whatever that choice is, whatever you want to do in life. I rock with you. Because guess what? It ain't my choice. It's not my life. I'm not your ghostwriter. I am not a writer in your life. I might be adding to your story, but I don't write. I don't erase things. Oh, I don't like the way they wrote that about their life. I don't like that part. What? Whatever you want to do, I'll rock with you. Now, if it's crazy, like I'm not gonna support you. You want to go out here and massacre somebody? No. And I'm gonna tell on you. How about that? But on a note of you not harming anybody, that is gonna, hey, do you? That's your life. Whatever, unless you're gonna harm yourself or somebody else, whatever you choose to do is your right. That's how I feel. Live your best life. Live the life you want. Write your story. But for those of you that's trying to walk around with a pencil with an eraser and you don't even know how to write your own, or let's just say this one, you got some people that and done the things you very well don't want being done because you mad that they did it. So now you want to dictate for everybody so you got a little bit of power. But let me be clear. Those of you that have the power that you're dictating and you're making decisions that have no right and you have no right to really do, one day somebody gonna make a decision for you you ain't gonna like. And then we'll see how the tables turn. Huh. So anyway, that's enough. That's a nimble to be quick. Jack, jump over the candlestick. So it's your girl TT from the D. This has been a Tap In Tuesday. Tomorrow, I'm going to go a little bit harder because it'll be on Spotify. And, I can go a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, whatever that looks like. And I'll have a little bit more information, different data, of course, to share over there. So if you're one of my followers for my Wind Down Wednesday, you know to catch me over on Spotify or anchor.fm /TT from the D at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. And so you can catch me here each and every Wednesday. Not here, but over there on Spotify each and every Wednesday at 8 o'clock for my pre-recorded show, TT from the D Wind Down Wednesday. And then you also can always catch me here, if it be the Lord's goodwill, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here, talking about any and everything. This is like one of the first times I've really gotten into something like this because I normally don't do it because I'm on fire. You know why I'm on fire? I'm on fire for people. I love people. I don't care who you are, where you come from, where you live, your zip code, your car you drive, your bank account, because it got shit to do with me. I don't care your friend circle. I don't care about none of that. You know what? I care about people. I just like people. I'm a people person. So I talk about any and everything. Music, entertainment, sports, law, politics, whatever it is. But today, Roe versus Wade, what's happening, I thought was pretty good. I've been having a lot of conversation. I know you have too. And every time you turn on the news channel, if we ain't talking about them gas prices, we talking about this. So with that note being said, enjoy the rest of your Tap In Tuesday, whatever it is you choose to do. And I will see you soon.